Hello, my name is Dean Edwards, and I teach in one of the more than 450 Seventh-day Adventist schools in North America that has multi-level classes in the same classroom. In my school, I have 8 grades. I am the only teacher with 11 students. Being a teacher requires energy and creativity. All of us already have that. So we have the skills that are necessary to be a success in teaching multiple levels of abilities in our classrooms. What most of us don't have are the organizational skills, and that's what I want to share with you today. Teaching students of varying abilities requires a change in our mindset. It requires us to plan ahead, keeping the needs of each student in mind as we do our planning. It also necessitates a change in classroom management and what may be the norm for the student as far as classroom behavior. The teacher needs to loosen the reins enough to allow students to move around and help each other quietly while still being respectful of the needs of the rest of the class. This is difficult for some teachers to do, but mandatory for successful multiple-level teaching. You will have to discover what works best in your classroom. But some allow certain students to help and train them to do it quietly, while others allow the students to move freely. I've seen it work both ways, or even in other ways, so you will need to discover what works best for you. Don't be afraid to experiment or to change your mind if something doesn't work. Let the students know that you are trying something new and need feedback from them on what is working and what isn't. This is when it is important to use your knowledge of the students and their culture to provide the best form of education you can for each student. Student-centric teaching, that's what this is all about. This type of teaching may require other changes in your teaching, since it is mandatory that it be focused on the needs of the student and not the needs of the teacher. It was a struggle to put my teaching ego away in order to meet my students' needs and not to focus on my comfort level. Students learn, often in despite of us, but some learn in ways different to how we learn. Here is a suggested pattern to follow for a class. First, give each of the advanced level students a review paper, quiz, or introduction to the next topic as they walk into the classroom. Often, I have enough computers in my classroom for each of my students, so I will have them go work on a website that deals with either this subject we're working on that day or another class that they're going to be working on later. That will keep them busy while I am teaching the class with the younger students, or with the lower level students. Have the other students sit down. Now, give the new lesson to the lower level group and check their comprehension. Instruct them that they may get help from a classmate or whomever you have chosen to be the helper, but it must be done quietly. The third step is to instruct the advanced group with their new lesson. Check their comprehension and allow them to do their new assignment. Resist the temptation to let the other students interrupt you. This is one of the most difficult habits to learn when teaching multiple levels. As you will see, it's not so much in just educating the students as it is in re-educating ourselves as teachers. And the last step is you are now able to use the rest of the class period to work individually with all of the students. Some will finish early. If computers are available, they can then work on ESL work online. Now, here's a note. Find good ESL online sites which will bring about the desired results. It is not a good idea to let the students choose the site. If one suggests a site, check the content before letting them use it at school. Google gave over 5 million hits when I typed free ESL online practice websites. Another one you might consider that is free to use is called Quizlet. You can record a voice and you can record the words and it will test the students and work with them, and it's free. It works very well and students enjoy it. And you might be surprised because I would almost bet that there are already vocabulary words and lists along with the spoken cues for each of these lessons that you use already. A point to remember is that one of the greatest advantages of teaching in a multi-level classroom is the resources available to you. It is well known that the best way to learn something is to teach it yourself. You have students who have already learned what the lower level students are trying to learn. And to reinforce it in their minds, when they help the lower level students, they are then learning it themselves even better. Use your advanced language learners to help the lower level students when doing activities together. Both groups will benefit. At first, you will struggle to find enough time to finish the lessons, but be patient. With time and practice, you will soon develop the skills to be successful. More than half of all SDA schools in North America are single classroom schools. Public education leaders have asked how we have been successful in producing the quality of students we have and have expressed a desire for the same results in their schools. Many see that success to be a result of multi-level classrooms. I believe God blesses the efforts of those teachers who commit their lives and classrooms to Him. I wish you success in your goal of becoming student-centered in your classroom. God bless.